Hi guys, this is Pestilly and welcome to another video. What the heck? Today I want to talk about the new genre of a looter shooter, which I'm going to define as the hardcore looter shooter. There is currently a surge of games that have pretty much been coming out or in development that really you should be keeping your eye on, or if you haven't already tried out, you should consider. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So the genre is like a hardcore looter shooter, which is pretty much an instance-based game where you go into a game and then you have a map or a world to explore. You loot stuff. If you die, you lose everything. And if you survive, then you get to keep everything you went in with. And that's pretty much the loop of the game. There's been an actual surge of these games. And the first one I started playing was Escape From Tarkov. And I started playing that about 5 years ago. And for the largest period of time, as I've been playing that game, I was like, I'm waiting for that company to come out there and make a game that's like this one, that's actually really good, that will actually push it to the next level. And over probably the last 12 months, there's been a surge of these games coming. The first one I actually noticed was the Cycle Frontier. Now, originally, the Cycle was a battle royale game, and it was not really popular for the most part. And then one day, Summit 1G was playing the Cycle Frontier, and all of a sudden, everyone took notice of this game. It has a very similar looting structure and play style to Escape From Tarkov, but the game is quite considerably different. The one biggest issue that game ran into, and a lot of these games will probably always run into, is when cheaters are playing these games and you lose that stuff. Everyone loses their bananas because they've just gone and spent all this time getting all this cool gear, and then when you die, you lose it. And then you never get that stuff back, and people get frustrated and quit. When the Cycle Frontier actually came out and hit 1.0 earlier this year, a lot of people were discouraged from playing this game because the cheating was so rampant. The actual game itself is free to play, and if you went and played it, you would actually get really pissed off, or used to, because you would die to a cheater and then you'd be like,
yeah, those guys are like probably some fucking super good players.
Now, the fact that it was free to play really surged this, and there was a very large amount of issues early on. 3 dead. Woo! Cycle Frontier, however, is actually a lot of fun if you can get past that. And what they've done recently is they've actually made it really good by the fact that they added a new couple of things to anti-cheat that has just stepped it up to the next level. The first one, which is absolutely amazing, is if you die to a cheater and the cheater gets banned, you get all the gear back. But then they also added another thing, being the trusted lobby system. So if you have a Steam account that is of a certain age, you haven't had any VAC bans on it, or you've been playing the Cycle Frontier for a period of time, you get added to the trusted server, like lobbies, and then you get to play against only other people that are in the trusted lobbies as well. I've been playing this game quite a lot recently, and honestly, I have not run into a single sus death. And it's actually amazing to play a game like that and feel like, oh my God, this is actually like how games are meant to be again. But honestly, whenever you play a game these days, you always got that in the back of your mind. Was that person legit? Was it not? Because these kind of games make it very difficult to realize if you did die to someone suspicious or not. Now, moving on from the Cycle Frontier, we also had Marauders, our first look at the game Marauders, which is a space game as well, but this one's located primarily in space. In a actual, instead of being on planets, you're in space stations and stuff like that, and you're actually able to dock other people's ships and then fight them on their ships. The actual whole mentality of this game is actually kind of mind-boggling. It's the Nazis won World War II, and then it kind of, the war is still going or something. I didn't actually pay too much attention to the lore, but it's pretty much a space World War II Escape From Tarkov-ish game. Hardcore looter shooter. I think we always go to that default Escape From Tarkov-ish game because of that. But Marauders is actually a lot of fun. It's still very early in development. It's not completely flushed out with a lot of content. Weird way of doing it. But if you are looking for your hardcore looter shooter fix, Marauders is definitely something you should check out. Now, I haven't put anywhere near as many hours into Marauders as I have the Cycle Frontier or Escape From Tarkov. But the good thing about Marauders is there's plenty of progression and place to go with this game. And it's definitely something you should keep on your radar, and it is available to play at the moment. Now, none of this is actually this is not a hashtag ad or sponsored thing.
Raid Shadow Legend.
I just actually think it's really interesting that these games are all starting to take place, and it's actually getting exciting because instead of me just feeling like playing, or instead of me playing Escape From Tarkov to try and get that feel of like that rush of like, oh my God, I need to survive so I don't lose this progression or lose this item I need for a quest or whatever, you know, these games are starting to give it to me. And so I'm trying to put them on your radar as well. Dark and Darker. Now, this one isn't actually a shooting game. This is a instance-based hardcore game, but it's actually based around a D&D world. So, for example, you'll have rogues and wizards and fighters and barbarian kind of fighting styles. And you have to go around, loot stuff, you get better weapons, and then you kind of have this like zone that closes in to push you into the center more. And then these portals spawn that you can either go to a harder difficulty level, or you can go back to the lobby and then store some of the items that you found. This one is also very early in development. It only had about 300 players, or they're expecting to have 300 players on their first test. And I think they ended up having something like 100,000 accounts created by the end of the first play test. It surged in popularity in the 5 days that it was available to play. And with this next test, I only see it becoming more and more popular. This game was so much fun to play. And I do believe that in the future of the game, they're going to also have VoIP and stuff like that. And it's just going to be next level. I'm so excited for some of these games and to play these games overall, because it's just, I can jump between games and have a lot of fun. If you like that kind of loss of loot and that risk added to your game, instead of it just being like, how many kills can I get? These games are bringing them, and it's a lot of fun. Now, I do want to touch on games that have a primary game and they've had this kind of thing on the side. And the next one is Battlefield 2042 Hazard Zone. Now, I know Battlefield 2042 didn't actually get received very well by pretty much anyone, and the Hazard Zone was very bad as well. Unfortunately, it was an idea and a concept they put together, but it wasn't flushed out enough to be a full-fledged game that was successful in any way, shape, or form. But I would say that the next one coming out would be Call of Duty's DMZ. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of this. They've tried to keep it very secretive. There have been a lot of leaks been going around the universe that we've all been able to hear. And with the Call of Duty DMZ, they've pretty much gone down the path, from what we can tell, of having a Tarkov-esque hardcore looter shooter kind of game. Now, people ask me my opinion. What do you think of it? Are you going to play it? Yes, I'll definitely play it. I'm excited to play it. And I really do hope it's an amazing game. I hope it's an insanely fun game and I can play it for hundreds and thousands of hours. But as all these things, I'm very skeptical, particularly when in a company that's like Call of Duty or Activision, where Call of Duty, they just kind of like pump out the same stuff all the time. My fingers are crossed that they actually do a really good job of this, because it would be nice to have a AAA company take on this new genre of game and make it a lot of fun. If they do it right, and it sounds like you're meant to be able to go in as solos or as groups, go in there, loot some stuff, do missions, get out, and then go back in, and it's kind of have that whole instance-based thing. If they do it right, this is going to be an exciting thing, because once one of the AAA companies get onto it, then if it's successful, there'll be definitely more looking at it, because everything in this industry is ran by money. So if these games are successful, then they'll put more money and time and effort into them. So pretty much the purpose of this video is to say, there's a lot of these fun kind of games coming out, and some of them are earlier in development, some are a lot further. Escape From Tarkov has been kind of in a bit of a lull period, because it's just been slowed down in development for 100 million reasons, and they're all pretty obvious. The game is still being developed, and I'm excited for the next patch, major patch, whenever it comes out, probably around Christmas time. But if you are burnt out on Escape From Tarkov or one of these other games, check out one of the other ones. They're a lot of fun, and I think they've all got stuff that they've got better than other games, and they can learn from each other. And I hope that potentially, one of these games actually does hit the mainstream just as much as Escape From Tarkov has, and then people can have that fun and discover this whole new genre of gaming, because I think people are burnt out on battle royales, and I think people are kind of looking for that new thing to do, and I think this is it. It's just depending on how casual friendly it will be that will make it if more and more people will play these kinds of games. Now, just another administration thing, I was potentially taking the path of this channel to go down the IRL stuff. I'm actually going to do a new channel for that, and I'm just going to put this back to being completely gaming content, because I'm listening to your messages and understand you guys want just gaming content on here. Well, let's do it. So get excited for that if you're after the gaming stuff. There'll be a lot of Tarkov stuff, but I'm also going to chuck up some Cycle Frontier, because I've been playing that, and also Dark and Darker. Once that playtest is over, I'll be able to put up some highlights and some videos on that as well. I do actually have some more Tarkov content videos that I want to put up that are in the development. And I did go to Texas recently and film pretty much shooting every single gun of Escape From Tarkov in Texas. Keep an eye out for that video, probably the end of the month, or the end of November by the time we get that one edited. But I'm excited to put out some more content for you guys. If you like the video, make sure you like and comment for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to keep up to date with the latest gaming content. And lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.